And then we come upon the R.
Okay.
The R.
This is a more fun one, the R. We have two different sounds here.
Exactly. So we've got the word that has one R in, okay, in the middle of a word. Just one R in the middle of a word. For example, the word but. How do you say that?
Pero. So we have the soft one, re, pero.
But simply saying soft, but for an English person, that's not soft, that's hard R.
Well, what would be soft for you? Re or re? For me, re would be the strong one.
For sure,
so when I say soft is the re, strong will be the re.
Yeah. But and I'm saying English because Scottish people have no problem with the R.
No, Scottish people are really good at
problem
this.
with the R.
And
Yeah.
some of the countries are really good.
But for us
English,
people from from England, holy cow.
Particularly as you go down to the south, it's getting harder to say.
Exactly.
So...
What? Because they don't have an I. What? Okay, so one R, we'll do but is...
It's not one R, okay? It depends where the R is.
Sure, I'm talking about one R in the middle of a word, and then we'll come to
And it's not even in the middle of a word.
Right.
If you're talking about one R between two vowels,
yeah,
for example in pero, then that's fine, it's
okay.
ere. But you can have an R in the middle of a word,
Enrique,
preceded by another...
vowel.
No, not vowel.
No, consonant. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that would be a hard one. Strong one. Enrique.
Okay, so typically though, when a R is on its own, as Cynthia said, surrounded by vowels, it's just that re. Okay? If it's at the beginning of a word on its own,
then
it's
strong. A re sound. Yeah, the beginning is a re sound, like rosa, romántico,
roca,
roble.
Yeah. So that's... it's strong,
Rrr.
it's very strong, and it's something that we have to work on for years to get it.
Yes.
For years and years to get it. Some people have it naturally, but even if you can do it, it's remembering to do it, it's getting your mouth in the right position, and so it takes a bit of practice.
Argentinians are the best at this sound.
Really? Okay.
They like to elongate that sound a lot in Argentina. It's really nice.
So strong at the beginning on its own, and then if there are two R's together, strong
also,
too.
So there are three instances in which you would pronounce the R in a strong way. Strong for me. I don't know what we've forgotten. Because if the other one is strong, extra strong.
It would be extra strong. It would be single R strong, double R extra ridiculously, miraculously strong.
Strong. Okay, so it would be at the beginning of a word, like rosa. In the middle of a word, if it's preceded by another consonant, enroscar, because it's really difficult for us to say enroscar. It's like, it's harder. So it's easier to say enroscar than enroscar. So in the middle of a word preceded by a consonant, and if you find two R's in the middle of a word, like perro, which is a word that I often use in my classes. I write the word P-E-R-R-O and P-E-R-O.
Exactly, yeah.
And I ask the students to pronounce the words, and sometimes I can't hear a difference.
Well, so what we do when we can't do the R, we say pero, and then we say pero.
Yeah. So the first one with double R would be perro, perro, perro. And the second one, which is but, pero, 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 perro, perro. And in these words, you do hear the difference. It's not like those words I said to you, Gordon, what's the difference between? And it's barely like zero difference.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely.
Like bold and
bold. I can hear the difference clearly. He's bald. He's a bold man.
We did once. We were in the teacher's room. What would you call that? The office.
Yeah, the staff room.
The staff room, exactly. And we were talking about how to pronounce the word bold and A-L-D. And so I said, I always hear they say like bold. And go, no. Because Gordon always gets like that. Like his Englishness comes and he's like, no. Very different. So he said, bold. It just sounded the same. We were like, that's just the same thing twice. So one of the teachers walked in. Blanca walked in and I said, Blanca, see if you can hear the difference. So he said the two words. And he was trying to make the extra effort of saying bold.
Bold.
And she said, he just said the same thing twice.
Said the same thing twice, yeah. Happens a lot, that. Happens a lot.
Maybe it's just our ears are not used to that.
Absolutely.
The subtle sounds.
Okay, so the R, and we've done lots of tutorials I have on how to improve your R. If you've got a soft R, soft R's are not good when you're learning Spanish, yeah? You need to harden your R's up. Okay, so then S.
La S. S.
S, the
S.
same, yeah? The
Sí.
same as English.
Solución, sobrar, casas.
Yeah.
Se.
And then T.
La T. T sound, it is different, isn't it? It's slight.
Softer.
Yeah,
It's slightly more...
Tiburón.
eaten.
In English, it's more like t. Sometimes it's t.
T.
And
Sí.
in Spanish, it's t. 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 T.
T.
T. T.
T.
Sí. T. Tiburón. Tomar.
The T can sound sometimes like a D, an English D as well. D.
Like.
D. Un D. D.
Just one notch up.
Yeah, but it can. It has this feel. It's like some of the letters that don't have a feel of the English pronunciation.
Yes.
All right. So T, and then
The U is silent when we talked about the G. Yeah, when we G-U-I-G-U-E, which is G and G, except if we have the umlaut, the diathesis, in which the U is pronounced. But we also have it with the Q. We can have Q-U-E, Q-U-I. So and that only happens with those two vowels. It doesn't happen with the rest.
Sure.
So it would be que and ki. Que, like queso, and ki, like quiero.
Quiero. Okay. Super.
We wouldn't have it in other, like in English, you would have Q-U-A, like quality, or with other things, or Q-U.
Yeah, we can do a
quotation.
Yeah.
For us in Spanish, it's just Q-U-E, Q-U-I. Que, ki.
Okay.
The rest will be with the C.
Okay. And so, the V and the B, if you're not sure about the V, check in the previous lesson because we talked about the differences. Okay.
Not different.
W.
W, well, it's not really a word that a letter that we use in our alphabet much. I mean, we have it for Washington,
Wi-Fi.
whiskey, Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
so it's a we.
An imported letter, really.
Yeah, so sometimes we transcribe it as G-U with the umlaut and the Y. Sorry, and the I. G-U-I, we.
Whiskey.
See,
the old-fashioned way of spelling whiskey now, they're very modern.
Any other, or in the case of whiskey, and then Washington, anything that is usually imported. I don't think it's a letter that we have.
Yeah.
No. Batios, maybe.
But even then, probably it comes from outside. The same with X.
Yep.
Because X is.
In English, sometimes you have is an egg like. What words?
Exaggerated.
You said more
exaggerated.
And for us, it's more ex. Expatriar. Ex-mujer.
Ex-mujer.
Exiliar. Ex is more more than egg.
Yeah.
For sometimes.
We can do an egg. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I hear an egg.
Yeah.
In
that's true.
In English, and for us, it's smokes.
And then sometimes you'll see normally from other Spanish-speaking countries that some people will have a name that begins with X, but it's pronounced like the J.
Okay. Yes, because in Spanish, the sound G was written with an X. And so, for example, we have Mexico, which should be written, and that's how we were taught, with a J.
With a J, yeah.
Mexico, okay? But people write it with an X. But the better way to write it would be with a J.
Sure.
Mexico and Mexicano.
Sure. So we've got names like Javier.
Jimena. And if you go to Valencia, for example, you've got names start with an X.
But you pronounce it as a J, yeah?
And it's a G sound.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Y?
You were asking me why it was
Why have you got to pronounce no. The letter Y?
Okay, so the letter Y in standard Spanish pronunciation, and here we don't have a consensus, unfortunately, but the standard in Spain is similar or the same, I'd say, to the double L. So we've got playa, llave, yo, yo.
Yeah, my sister came over to Spain. She's called Joanne, but everyone calls her Joe. And she spent the whole week turning her head going, everyone's shouting my name. Joe. Yeah. Joe, pues Joe. In this area, you're going to hear Joe when people are saying.
But you may hear other sounds, more like yeah. Like some people like to say playa instead of playa. So you can hear both sounds. But the standard in Spain is the Y.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Z. The Z.
La Z. Okay, so this one has the same sound as C. We use it with an A, with an O, and with an U. Where we can't make that sound with a C because it would make K sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's always the th sound.
Yeah. So Z-A, zapato. Z-O, zorro. Z-U, zueco.
Okay. And understand that because we say, well, it's the TH sound in English, and we have it, but it's only in the words like thing, think.
Yes, we have. Yeah. We have like some Latin words or imported words like think. That would be Z-I-N-C.
But what I'm talking about is in English we've got words like th there and the. That isn't the sound. The same sound is think, thought. Yeah.
Because I was going to say we have the word think.
As in like zinc.
Zinc. Yeah. And because it's Latin is imported, so that would be think.
Think.
But that's not normal. Usually it would be with a C. Obviously not in that case. So we have very few ones. Or figurat. Un figurat, okay? Again, another word is
we say ziggurat, yeah. Okay.
So those words are like outside the normal spelling.
Okay. So there you are. That's your whole alphabet, okay? It's just an overview. The way that you improve it is by reading and reading and reading and adjusting as you read so that you get it right.
Listening. Yep. A lot of listening and a lot of copying.
Yeah.
That would be the way to go.
Absolutely. And the help sheets to this lesson are available. The link is just underneath this video.
Eso es.
Bueno, entonces, muchas gracias por haber estado con nosotros. Gracias, Cynthia.
A ti, Gordon.
Y ahora nos vamos.
Y nos vemos.
Hasta luego. Adiós.